When it comes to military might, few things inspire more awe and respect than a tank rolling across the battlefield. And when it comes to tanks, the Russian T90 is considered by many to be a true behemoth, equipped with its heavy firepower like its armor-melting 9M119 Refleks anti-tank guided missile. It's no wonder why Vladimir Putin has these tanks rolling on the front lines in the invasion of Ukraine. But in this war, many experts are doubting that the T90 has lived up to its fearsome reputation. So brace yourself as we dive deep into the T90's performance and discover if it's truly proved to be a battlefield titan in Ukraine or fell short in the face of adversity. From its powerful main gun and anti-tank guided missile system to its agility and top speed, the T90 has been designed to dominate the battleground. And when it comes to protection, the T90 is a true fortress, boasting explosive reactive armor and multi-layered steel shell. So what are we talking here? Well, the T90 is armed with an impressive auto-loader serviced 125mm 2A46M main gun, which has a firing range of up to 5 kilometers in its basic form, and it's just getting warmed up. The T90 is additionally equipped with 7.62mm PTKM coaxial machine guns used to shred through any infantrymen unlucky enough to be caught in its sights, while the KORD 12.7mm has the armor-penetrating power of a .50 caliber that eats light armored vehicles for breakfast. In urban combat scenarios where quick movement and turning ability are critical, the T90 can outmaneuver slower and less agile tanks, giving it a significant advantage. Hence, the tactical advantage needed in the invasion of Ukraine. Its top speed of 60 kilometers per hour on roads and 50 off-road also allows it to rapidly move across terrain, giving it the ability to quickly respond to changing battlefield conditions or strike at vulnerable enemy positions. This combination of speed, agility, and firepower makes the T90 a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. It's like getting chased down by a cheetah with the crushing power of an elephant on a rampage. But that's not all. The T90 also has an advanced 9M119 Refleks anti-tank guided missile system designed to strike tanks with explosive reactive armor or helicopters. And when it comes to protection, the T90 is what every growing tank dreams of becoming. It's equipped with Contact 5 explosive reactive armor on the hull and turret and multi-layered steel shell. This tank can take a hit and keep on going. The T90 project began as a modernization of the T-72 in the twilight years of the Soviet Union in the 1980s. By 1989, the project had morphed into a distinct and independent endeavor, leading to limited serial production in 1992. The T90 received bad press after the performance of the T-72 and the T-80BV in the First Gulf War and the First Chechen War. But Russia's arms industry felt pressured to heavily market the T90 to export audiences to make up for such bad press. It's like hyping up the next great Marvel movie, only to fall flat at the box office. The Russians were desperate for a hit. Cue the upgraded version of the T90, the T90M. This mighty machine was touted as the latest standard for Moscow's T90s to upgrade into its fleet. However, some military experts say that the T90's fire control system was state-of-the-art in the 1990s, but in the modern era, it falls short compared to similar systems found in other main battle tanks. The original T90 lacks advanced sights, only coming with a basic night sight and no thermal imager. Furthermore, it lacks a panoramic commander's sight, which limits its ability to detect and engage targets quickly and maintain situational awareness. Vladimir Putin didn't seem to agree with those experts. He was more than eager to put the T90 tanks to the test. Depending on what news you're reading, the T90 might not seem to be as invincible on the battlefield as shown on paper. In fact, reports indicate that the T90s encountered serious issues during the war against Ukraine. So, what went wrong? Let's take a closer look at the T90's performance in this conflict and find out if it truly lived up to its fearsome reputation. Let's take a look at the T90's performance in the war against Ukraine. The T90 tank, revered as the battlefield's reigning champion, owing to its state-of-the-art design and formidable defenses, has found itself stumbling in the war with Ukraine. In an unexpected turn of events, the superior T90, despite outclassing its Ukrainian counterparts, has lost 20 of its illustrious Vladimir models on Ukrainian soil as revealed by Oryx blog. Even its more recent variant, the T90M, failed to turn the tide with reports of 2 tanks failing within their early deployment to Ukraine. The Russians had anticipated their formidable tanks would be a show of force, a thunderstorm meant to send Ukraine into a fearful retreat. However, the US was quick to puncture their storm clouds, turning the anticipated Russian thunderstorm into a fizzling rain shower by providing Ukrainian infantry with anti-tank weaponry like the FGM-148 Javelin. But that's not all. Woeful use of tanks and poor tactics have been a significant weakness for the Russian military as well. That has definitely contributed to the undermining of the T90's potential effectiveness. The future of the T90 is uncertain. Is the T90 only better on paper? While the T90 may have been a formidable tank in the past, its performance in Ukraine shows that it may not be as effective against modern anti-tank weapons and tactics. The ever-distant arrival of the T-14 Armada to active service likely means that Russia will have no choice but to maintain its fleet of T-90s for the foreseeable future. Overall, the T90 may still be a useful tank in certain situations, but it's clear that it's not the invincible force that Russia has portrayed it to be. Despite setbacks faced by tanks on the battlefield in the Ukrainian conflict, President Volodymyr Zelensky has not hesitated to order more tanks to defend his country's sovereignty. In a recent interview with Sky News, Zelensky stated that the Ukraine needs up to 500 tanks and expressed his gratitude to partners who have announced the delivery of the main battle tanks. The US, UK, and Germany have announced the delivery of M1 Abrams, Challenger 2, and Leopard 2 tanks to Ukraine. While the US-produced Abrams tanks will take some time to arrive, the countries have vowed to provide training and strengthen supply chains to ensure that Ukrainian soldiers are prepared by the time the tanks arrive. As the saying goes, fight fire with fire. It looks like the age of tanks on the battlefield isn't over just yet. How would you rate the T90's role in the ongoing conflict with Ukraine? Do you still see the T90 as a contender in the ever-evolving theater of modern warfare? Or do you think it's high time for Russia to embrace its newer programs? We'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop us a line in the comments section below. Also, remember to hit the subscribe button to stay tuned for our captivating content, like our upcoming deep dive into the Russian secret weapon, the T-14 Armada main battle tank. Don't miss out, and keep your military knowledge arsenal up to date.